So looks like I don't think there's any injuries, major injuries that haven't been, from the game. So came out pretty good there.
The play where Dart ended up going to the 10, was that a busted play?
No, it was, it was kind of a fake run, and he had a little pop pass there. Didn't like the look, so he just ate it and just tried to get back to line of scrimmage.
That's not one of the options, though? It's not like an option run, whereas one of the options is pitch or pop?
No, it's like he's either throw it. I mean, it's either him or nobody. He didn't like the look or like the decision there, so he just tried to get back to line of scrimmage on the run, which we've talked about too. But it's not like a design run.
Did the officials make him go out? Is
Yes.
that kind of what happened there?
Yeah.
And they were checking that it was because of his neck, the way he bent. You know.
I'm not sure what the official said, but the official was the one that asked him to get evaluated. But he was fine.
The passing operation seemed a little off in the first half. A lot of Jaxson was completing around 40-something% of his passes in the first two quarters. And what was going on that Washington was doing that was kind of disrupting things?
I think we have to do a better job just executing some of those things. I can get some of the designs. I'll go back and look at the tape. Had some opportunities downfield, just missed, whether it was just overthrown or not caught. Some things I can go back and look at and see how we can continue to work our guys to get them open. But overall, just not clean. All 11 guys on offense, just coaches included, just being a little bit clearer in the pass game. But we'll go back and look at it and we'll get those things fixed.
Was there any explanation or what you see with John Michael Schmitz when he got the 15-yard penalty?
I asked for an explanation, sorry, and they said that it was like a headbutt, kind of this helmet-to-helmet type thing, so it's got to be smart there. Obviously can't have those penalties. Those are big penalties, particularly when you're down there in the low red zone. So, that's what they called.
Ultimately, what do you think the difference was today?
I'm sorry?
Ultimately, what was the difference today?
We just, as a group, as a team, we just didn't put one together. I think we had some individual good performance, good drives, good plays here and there. But you got to play a 60, versus that team, you got to play it for 60 minutes. And you got to be executing at a high level for 60 minutes. We made some plays. They made more at the end of the day. And so, I think our guys just got to keep on battling, keep on fighting. That's what we're going to need. That's what it's going to take to get over the hump and get a W.
What was the thought process? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
What was the thought process behind sending Koo out for the first field goal attempt? I think it was early in the game. You guys tried to be aggressive. What was the thought process behind that?
To get points.
Did that affect sending him out there for that second field goal attempt for the 51-yard?
It didn't affect it. It didn't affect it. He was inside our line that we had talked about. So I felt confident in Koo to go get it done.
Can you talk a little bit, Mike, about the special teams that they let a punt return touchdown and then the 2 missed field goals as well?
Yeah. It's like, again, it's a team game, and so the special teams had a couple of plays that I'm sure they'd like back, and I'd say the same thing for offensively and defensively. We gave a big one on defense. On offense, we turned the ball over at the end of the half, and we were kind of rolling. So again, the team game, we all got to get cleaned up. We all got to do better. If we want to get a win, then all 3 units got to be firing on all cylinders, and that's really the name of the game. That's really where we all got to dig down deep and work to get better so that we can go get a W. Our coaches, our players, I saw the look in their eye when we broke it down just a few minutes ago. I think our guys are hungry for that W, and they want it, but we all got to put it together. Coaches, players, everyone's in it together to go do that.
In all your time in football, have you ever gone through a stretch of losses like this as a player, as an assistant coach anyway? Have you gone through this yourself, and if so, what do you take from that? I
haven't personally, but we're in it right now, and I think this is an opportunity for our team to learn from these opportunities, these situations, and grow and continue to grow. Because these situations a lot of times they kickstart something really great. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and that's what I'm looking forward to this week of practice to see how our guys respond, and I know they'll respond the right way.
Mike, so Jaxson had 63 yards on the ground. He left briefly for that 1-yard play. Going forward, what's the conversation surrounding being able to play his game, his style, his aggressive way of playing, and protecting himself as well?
Yeah, no, we're not gonna change much in terms of how we play the game. I think just having the designed a thought process for how we scheme it up. So I thought we had a couple opportunities where he's protected. He's got someone out in front of him. On that one particular play where he got out, that was a pass. So. I think there's not much you can really do there. But, of course, we have his health. We have everyone's health in mind when we call plays and we think about it. But it's one of his great strengths. And you saw it today in full color when he's out there scrambling and making huge plays with his feet. And he's an aggressive ball player, so we're not going to take away his stinger on that aspect. But he knows. He knows when he's a smart football player, and he knows when he needs to protect himself and when he needs to go and make a play. And I trust him to do that, and that's probably the most important thing. The guys on the field trust him to go do that. And so, as we've talked, through the weeks now with Jaxson, this is a part of his game that I think makes him special. And as he continues to grow, I think he's making smart decisions. He took a couple slides today. It's part of that growth process, but that's one of the elite things he does in the National Football League.
How likely is it that the other quarterbacks will play?
Sorry, say that again.
How likely is it that you'll use the other quarterbacks?
Instead of Jaxson? Jaxson will roll as long as he's healthy, yes.
Gunner dealing with the concussion and the uncertainty that he was going to play this week. Why not call up one of the two return specialists that you guys have on the practice squad?
Yeah, we definitely had those conversations just late in the week where we had some other groups, other position groups that we were talking about, on the D line where we had some sicknesses and things like that. So we got a lot of trust in Holland to go back there and fair catch it, and actually had a couple nice returns for us. But it was certainly one of the discussion points that we had in the week.
What did you see from Abdul today?
Abdul played his tail off. It's no surprise he prepared that way, and that's how he addressed the week. He came in. I thought he played his butt off. Fumble recovery, fumble return. Had a couple plays in the backfield. I mean, he was playing with his hair on fire today. So that's one step. He's got to keep on stacking those days. But really, without watching the tape yet, I thought he played his butt off.
The first time you bench, you end up having to bench him again 2 games later. How much different was the response this time in your eyes?
Yeah, you just see growth from the player. You see growth from him. He's taken accountability for it. He's learned from those things, and he's putting together a good week. You see, he's in here early, staying late, and trying to make himself a better player. But and he's helping the team, and that's what it's all about. He's not only just helping himself be prepped and ready for the game, but he's helping the unit. He's helping his group. He's helping the team be more productive, and everyone's doing that. You see guys in there early in the morning. When I'm walking around the building and I see guys in there studying, getting their body right, that's important, and that's you see a young player like Abdul doing that. He's taking that from somebody. Who is it? Oh, well, Brian Burns is in the building early. Dexter Lawrence is in the building early. Guys on offense, same thing. Young players, you see those guys in and around the building early, and and because it means something to them. So I think that's super important, and I think at the end of the day, that'll help get us the results we want.
Two more. No more.